Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi class. How is your day today? I wish that you are all stay healthy. Remind the physical distancing as always. Don't forget to wear your mask anytime you go outside. And don't forget to wash your hand regularly, okay? So last week we have discussed about how you state your background of the story through the orientation part. I have read some of your orientations and it was awesome. Some of you just wrote a very good story and succeed to write a beautiful first line. So, congratulations for you who already passed the test. Okay, some of you who still get a problems with writing your orientations and still do not get the feels. So maybe by writing the conflicts, by erasing the conflicts, you will get the atmospheres of your story. So you still have the time. Okay, so today we are going to talk about raising the conflicts. It's the core components of your short story, of your prose fictions, because it's gonna be about the complication, the main problems which happen between your characters. So, are you ready to talk about conflicts or problems? So, let's just check it out. So, as you know, that there are three main parts of a short story, which is a prose fictions. There are orientations, complications, and resolutions. So now you are going to move to the next parts of your short story, that is conflicts or problems, aka complications. So then, how to raise our conflicts in our short story? Well, the one that you have to understand first is what is the conflict itself? Well, conflicts is about the clash of the desire through if we compare with the reality didn't feel what we want, or our desire doesn't meet with the reality. So there is a gap between our goals with uh with the reality. So we want some things, but in the reality talks difference. So there is a gap between our desires and the reality, and that's the conflict. So if you want to raise your problems or conflict on your short story, start with what is the goals of the main characters, what is the desire that your characters have. So then you will find the gap between their desire with the reality. Um, so, taken for example, your characters wants to get a scholarship. Okay, want to go abroad. Taken for example, want to go to Australia, but what's the reality say? What's the reality which need to be faced? Of course, to raise the problems, the reality should not go easy to her. For example, her parents forbid her, or her lover forbids her, or money's problems, or it can be anything. So the conflict starts with the gap between the goals and the reality. So let's just start with it, okay? So let's talk about the goals. Okay, if you want to start the characters or the problems with the characters of your short story, you have to start by asking yourself about your short stories. What is your main character wants? What is her or his desire? What is the most amazing things that your characters really wants to be happens? What is it? Okay, think about it carefully. Okay, so let's start from it to know about the conflicts that will happen, or to illustrate the problems that will happen on your short story. You have to start with it. What is your character wants? What is his desire? What is the um what is the biggest achievement that your characters wants to reach? Some things like that. Okay, and then you can move to the reasons why your characters really wants it, why your characters desperately wants to reach it, why your characters really love into it. Okay, so you have to think about it. Okay, so this is, for example, about my short story entitled Nilo. So I had an experience writing a short story entitled Nilo, and this is a part of the complication parts of my story. I just want my daughter back. I made a vow to raise her, to bring her to school, to live a happy life. I could absolutely kill myself tonight if she didn't come back. Okay, by reading these phrases, we can see that our characters wants her daughter come back to her. Okay, and why then? Why she really wants her daughter come back? So of course, because yeah, it Nilo is her daughter. Nilo is part of her life, and if that part is gone, so what is the need to live this life? Some things like that. So you have to start with what is the goals of your characters. Okay, next, to make the gap or to add obstacles, which aka the reality, the conflicts or problems happens when the goals doesn't meet with the reality. So after you think after thinking about what is your character's wants and why she desperately wants it, then you can think about what is stopping him or her. What can be the biggest obstacles to your characters to reach her or his desire? And then you can also add what is the consequences if he fails. Taken for example, at the previous example, your characters really wants to go abroad, really wants to get a scholarship. But and then what is the obstacles then? You have to think about it. If someone really wants to get scholarship, what is actually the biggest problems? Of course, the applications. Okay, so it's going to fail in applying the applications. So what is the components of applications? Okay, administration, interview. Okay, I can put a problem in interview. Maybe taken for example, she came late, or she get hijacked with her friends or whatsoever. Okay, you can think about the obstacles that possibly happens. What is the most interesting obstacles that possibly happens to your characters? Okay, And then what is the consequences will be if your character fails. Okay, if C doesn't attend the interview, then C will be failed, and then C will not get the scholarship, and C will not reach her dream to be a lawyer, for example. Okay, and yeah, and so on. So that's the consequences. So that's the problems that you can raise from the obstacles. Okay, this is still with the stories of Nilo, my prose fictions, and this sentence, it's just like, and now money is the only things that could bring her back. Damn this poverty. Okay, in the previous sections, we know that Nilo mothers lost her daughters, and she really wants Nilo to go back to homes, but uh, then we think, what makes Nilo couldn't get back um, in easy way. So what is it? What this woman doesn't have? Okay, money, says the poor woman. So money will be the biggest problem. Okay, then use the money as the obstacle. Some things like that. Okay. So you need to illustrate your conflicts. Remember, start with your character's desires and then move to the reality will which will be happen. So the key is don't go too easy with your characters. Make her life complicated. Okay. Okay, I got some examples of conflicts. This is the examples of some complicated life when you are writing your short story. I can see that some of you is doing with school or campus short story. Some of you just wrote horror story, and I love it. I cannot wait to read the next part, the complication part. And some of you are writings about love story, and some of you are writing about fable, and it's really nice. Okay, if you're still confused with your problems or conflicts, maybe this example will give you, I don't know, some insights. Okay, this for example, take it for example about works conflicts. Okay, works conflicts means that the conflicts occurs in the works background setting. So it arises or it happens and occurs in work situations. For example, the conflicts when your main characters need to choose promotion or value. For example, just your characters knows that her head of department doing corruptions, and then she is confused whether wants to report it, which means that maybe she will get neglected with her promotions, or um her value, because your characters really appreciate any honest action. So the conflicts will be, yeah, I choose promotion, I choose my career, or I choose the value that I respect. Okay, or taking credit for success or taking the blame for failure. For example, this is about teamwork, and then yeah, the conflicts will be like, do you want to get credit, which make your other members will be the of victims, or you will take the blames. For example, you take the you just say that you are the one who made a mistakes, which means that you will be failed, some things like that. Or maybe love or promotions. For example, you are falling in love with your worksmate or so on. Or great income and bullying, or low income and peace. That is a conflict in yourself about, yeah, this is a good incomes in this workplace, but you get bullied, for example. Or you will take some places with has a low income budget, but your workmate is nice. So, which one do you choose? That's the examples of conflicts which can be happens in working situations. Next, love and romance conflicts. Parents, whether you have to choose parents' love or lovers' love. I think that some of you experience had these kinds of experience, whether you have to choose your parents or your lovers, or you have to choose between love or friends. Mm. Or age gap. Maybe the girls is actually older than the man. Or religion gap. um the most painful love is loving someone's which has different religions or beliefs with you. Okay. And it's really sad. It can be sad or happy ending. It depends on your creativity. Or you want to talk about unwanted pregnancies, and at the first the loves is really good, and then but they plan to get married 5 years later, as your plans with your boyfriend or girlfriend now, but and then there is something which happening and occurred in the middles of your plan, and you get unwanted pregnancy, and you have to get married, you have to forget your educations and so on, and everything just ruined. Okay, so that's the conflict. Okay. Or family conflicts. We talk about money and income, the gap between income between husbands and wife, for example, or sex orientation, for example. Maybe you just know that your husband's had problems or sexual orientations, or the conflicts about children needs and problems, for example. You found that your child is a bully, or siblings competitions. You have a twins, for example, and you are a twins, for example, and you don't like to be compared with your twins, or you don't want to be compared with your brother or sisters. It can be anything. Okay. Or divorce and children's taken, for example, the problem started with the divorce between the house and the wives and husbands, and then the children become, yeah, got difficulties to face these problems. Or violence, verbal or physical violence. You can start with, yeah, the family which started to struggle to face the conflicts because, I don't know. Okay, what is this family desire? Okay, they want to get a happy life. Okay. But what is then the reality? What is the problem? Violence? Okay, verbal and physical violence. What is the possibly reasons that can be uh the backgrounds of these problems? Violence. Can become very violent if, okay, she or he get, I don't know, drugs or alcohol, for example. Okay, what can be reasons for someone to get no drugs and alcohol? Okay, maybe he lost his job for example, okay, problems to the biggest problem. Okay, the husband get a problem with his job. Okay, and then he started to get drugs and alcohol, and then he started to do the violence to her daughter and wives, and then it then continued to the police report, and go on and go until you go to the climax. Okay, so you will start your conflicts with the desire and the reality and the starting problems, sub problems, sub, and to the climax. Okay, some things like that. So, class, that's all our discussions about how to raise the conflicts on your short story. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.